Hi there, everyone, and welcome to Screech Bob-Omb Commentaries. My name is David Baron von Fabulous Lark. This is my co-host,
Callum, the good Doctor Young.
and today we are once again bringing you some action from the top cut of the Keyforge Online Team Event, or KOTE. Callum, do you want to tell us what teams we have today?
Yeah, so we have Lick All versus a multinational team out of various Asian countries versus Keyforge Granada out of Spain.
Mhm.
And this is the captain's match. So we're going to start off with Ronnie from Lick All, and the deck they brought Fontaine, the Diver of Ack Burning.
Good name, solid name.
Solid name. So this is some classic KOTE. We have Dis Logos Untamed, 3 out of the 4 best houses by some margin.
Mhm.
And we'll start with the Dis, which has massive disruption and pretty good ever control.
Gonna move
So,
past that snub of Sanctum there and talk about the Dis.
sorry, you mean the correct assessment of Sanctum? Yeah, cool. So the Dis is very disruptive. It has double
Mhm.
control but weak. It has Life Ward. It has Snudge. Has Succubus. All things that would just mess up with your
Yeah,
opponent's plan.
it's got a very nice Hysteria Shula
This,
combo. Always happy to
yeah,
see.
big on the Ember control. The Lash of Broken Dreams, make your keys cost 9.
Yep. And Life Ward, just sacrifice your opponent cannot play creatures on their next turn. You hate to see it if you're that opponent.
Yeah, it's not good. It's the sort of thing that instills panic when you look at a deck list. So
Mhm.
that's all going to be annoying as hell for
Yep.
Ronnie's opponent.
Indeed
Then
it
we
is.
look at the Logos, which is library access with a triple wild wormhole.
Yep. And the good thing about Library Access and Wild Wormhole is that Wild Wormhole allows you to draw 2 cards when you play it on a Library Access because it counts both
Yeah.
the Wild Wormhole and the card that Wild Wormhole plays, both as a card to draw off.
So a lot of like big chain turns with the Logos.
Mm-hmm.
You also have stuff like Mother, Ganymede Archivist, Doc Butchin, Brain Eater, all about drawing cards, archiving cards.
Yep, you have
Just
Scrambler
classic.
Storm as well, which your opponent can play action cards on their next turn, similar to Stealth Mode, a very popular card in Wars Collide Star Alliance.
I mean, it's the same card.
Indeed.
Uh,
Oh no, because one's
Swear.
called Scrambler Storm and the other's called Stealth Mode. There, it's got different pictures on and everything.
You're so witty. But
I
yes, it
know.
is very good as a card. Very useful to potentially mess your opponent's Ember control plans up so they can stop you from forging keys.
Yeah.
And then we go to the
Just before
Untamed.
we go to the Untamed, I'm just going to talk about Replicator quickly. It's a rare,
Yes.
so you might not have seen it before. Reap trigger the reap effect of another creature in play is if you controlled that creature does not exhaust. So if you see either your opponent or one of your creatures, you've got a reap effect that you'd quite like a little bit of, you can happily just use that reap effect. 2 power though, so it's quite easy to remove. Doesn't have anything like elusive either. So the likelihood of this living, if you do have a reap effect worth using, if you're the opponent, is unlikely, but may come into play.
There's some knocking about in this deck. You've got a Snudge, you've got Buckton, Archivist, all potentially handy.
There's definitely a few in the opponent's deck, which we'll move on to shortly as well.
Yes, but first the Untamed. This is okay, but I think I don't know about you, but I think this is well below what you'd usually expect in high-level Archon for KOTE Untamed.
If you look at you've got 21 SAS, which isn't great for an 81 SAS deck, and I think it really shows whereby a lot of you're missing a lot of like the key cards that you'd normally expect to see from high level and tame. So you've not got your key shards, your dust pixies, your dew fairies, your witch of the eyes. None
Nature's
of those.
Call.
None Nature's Call. One hunting witch, which I mean you've got 5 creatures with that, but not going to be doing too much.
You've got some regrowths to potentially bring it back, but again, this I think is comfortably short of normal Untamed. That's not to say it's not pretty decent.
Oh yeah, you've still got some very nice things. Cooperative hunting, always good just to get a bit of damage on things, especially when you've got Save the Pack as well.
Sort of quasi board wipe.
Indeed, you've also got a life web, which again we'll talk about whether that's going to come to play much, but can be potentially very nice effect to get a cheeky steal too. And finally, we'll talk about Mighty Tiger, which is a rare, which is 4 damage. Play, deal 4 damage to an enemy creature. I think this is an example of like maybe when creatures in KOTE weren't quite as exciting as some of the creatures you get in later sets.
Yeah, because you get Mustic Murmook in Worlds Collide Untamed, which does that and increases their key cost.
Indeed, it does.
Just does more stuff per creature.
It is cool art of a tiger
It is
fighting
sweet
a
art.
crocodile. It's pretty damn cool.
There's a reason that's on a playmat. That looks pretty
Yeah,
sweet.
it is pretty sweet.
One thing is that's one of the better creature control cards in this deck, which is concerning.
It really is. Yeah. So looking at the creature control, you've got Mighty Tiger, Positron, Bolt, Lost in the Woods. You do, like we said, you do have the quasi board wipe in Save the Pack with the Cooperative Hunting. You've got the Hysteria to knock things back, but if the opponent gets a board, you might be hard pressed to get rid of it.
Yeah. And that is often likely to happen with later set decks, as his opponent is playing.
Yeah. I also just want to make one note of something that I've always found very disturbing, which is Mushroom Man is both fungus and human. Yes, there is a human somewhere in there. You now all know this and have to deal with that information. Enjoy.
That is deeply terrifying, because if you look at the top right of his head, it's got little eyes.
It does.
Little mushroom eyes.
It does indeed. Yeah.
I did not need this knowledge.
Yeah, well, you got it now. Enjoy.
Thank you.
And we'll move on to the second deck and try and purge that from our brains as we talk about, I'm going to call it Benedict, because I don't want to offend any potential Polish viewers we have by trying to pronounce this. I feel like we'll go poorly.
This is being played by Jose M from Keyforge Granada, who I believe is one of the big TCO tournament winners, as we may see on the recording, and is playing this deck, which Google Translate tells me is called Benedict Locksmith from Charming Bochnia.
Oh.
It's very nice.
And Bochnia is lovely this time of year. Makes sense.
Yeah, sure. The first thing I see here, is there is greater Ember control than there is expected Ember, and that is very unusual, especially given there's 17 expected Ember. So we'll start by looking at where that's all coming from. Big low Ember control in every house. We have double EE on the fringes in Dis.
Yep, and we are going to see a mirror match here where we've got Dis in both decks, which makes E on the fringes much, much better.
Yeah, to purge your opponent's Dis. You have an E-Die and a hologramophone in the logos, as well as several other ways to archive cards.
You also have a Lesser Oxtet, which is technically Ember control, but it's a terrible card that I think we'll most likely see discarded to be used as Ember control by the E's.
Probably, yes.
Purge each card in your hand. I don't. Why? Why would anyone want to do that?
It is a bizarre downside for a creature that is slightly, I think, comparable to Sensitive Garcia.
Yeah, and comparable to Retagalem as well.
Yeah, which is also in the Saurians in this deck.
Yeah.
Along with a Tribute.
Indeed. Tribute and an Ottawa, and we also have 3 Frexes Ludos, which means when you do Tribute, it's pretty likely it's going to be coming, not going back to your pool. Oh, having said that, there is a lot of cards in Fontaine that can deal with that, such as the Hysteria and the Lost in the Woods. So maybe that will come up.
They could be quite big. And yet the Calipigian Ideal is big here because it's an example of how the deck does a really cool thing where it doesn't just control Ember, it turns that Ember control to its advantage somehow.
Yeah.
So Calipigian lets you spend Ember on a creature that you attach that upgrade to. You can use Cutthroat Research, which will kick in when you have the increased key costs, which you have quite a bit of. And then you have, again, the double EE to just take apart your opponent's Dis, which we'll be able to do in this.
You also have Compass Haruspex, which has some quite good things to hit. So each friendly creature's play effect is a player reap effect. So you've got things like Triserian Legion Reach, which become really, really buff Medic Ingrams. You've got Retagalem that can, if it reaps, can make your keys cost +6 if it wants.
Or just get the +3 without the Exalt.
Yep, Odoak can reap Capture 1, which is pretty nice. E-Die can reap Archive a card and thereby increase your key costs. Yeah,
potentially very big. It's a very powerful card.
Lesser Oxtet can reap Purge each card in your hand if you want.
Yeah, why not? Just add some cycling, a bit of speed, maybe.
Probably not. I'm going to stop ragging on Lesser Oxtet now.
What did it ever do to you? I don't know why you said that on it.
We don't talk about that.
I'm sorry. I won't reveal your tragic backstory. The final thing that I think is one of the final things that's very big in this matchup is the double remote access in the logos. So we talked about a lot of the cool artifacts in Fontaine. There's very strong ones, such as the Lash of Broken Dreams, the Life Ward, and they become risky to play because the Life Ward especially can really screw you over. If it gets remotely accessed.
It really can. And I mean, a life ward in this deck could be really problematic with 20 creatures and quite a lot of creatures that you are just wanting to like throw down. You're not going to want to discard, could thing. But I think the thing that you can say with Fontaine is with those double control the weeks, you're going to be aware of those remote accesses, and you're probably going to be hoping to play a life ward and then playing a dis turn immediately afterwards to pop that life ward if you're going to play it all.
But stuff like the Lash of Broken Dreams, I think, especially with all of the key cost increase in Benedict already, if you can remote access that, you could really be onto something good.
You really could, yeah. Very true.
All right, who do we think is going to win this game?
You know me, I'm always a fan of a deck that wants to put down a board, capture some member, and just basically not lose the game until they eventually win the game. And I think that's very much the kind of deck that Benedict is. It's got that steal, it's got the capture, it's got the key cost increase. It's just going to be being a pain in Fontaine's rear and stopping them going to check, stopping them getting to forge and saying, all right, mate, you're going to forge, you're going to pay 12 to do so. And
without
as a result, Benedict is going to do that.
I think the way Fontaine wins this, perhaps not the only way, but a way is just through intense disruption. So turns where you combine one or more of Control the Weak, Life Ward, Hysteria, get like a big Ember swing from Hysteria off some Saurians, or perhaps a huge library access turn. To be fair, it does look capable of.
Yeah, and I suppose actually the thing with Hysteria and Life Ward is that you can potentially return the whole board of Benedict and then pop the Life Ward and be like, right, you're not going to play any of the creatures, so you're not going to draw anything either, you're not going to play anything, and you're just going to have a real bad time, mate. Enjoy.
That could be the sort of winning scenario we see for Fontaine, but I will probably go with you and predict a win from Benedict.
The other thing actually worth noting too is that we do actually see the Scrambler Storm as well, which could affect some real nice actions in Benedict that could be stopped by that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, but yeah, looking forward to the game. We'll see you at the game.
Let's do it.
Welcome to the game portion of the episode, and we have Fontaine on the top of the screen, and we have Benedict on the bottom of the screen. That's a nice opening hand for Fontaine there. I imagine we'll be seeing a hot keep.
And that does seem like a keep because you drop a Succubus or a Snudge, and then you run into the rest of the disruption.
And I think for Benedict to keep there as well, like Tautau Vapors, Hapsis, Anomaly Exploiter, I'd be very happy with that as an opening turn.
Because you whack the Calipigeon Ideal in the archives, ready for some disgusting Saurian nonsense later.
You do indeed. Good to see Dis. I think we've dominated Ball coming. Oh, Succubus coming out early. Restricting the draw from Benedict there. And we are going to see the Tautau Vapors drawing 2. I think Archive and the Calipigeon Ideal most likely.
Goes for the Misery Exploit. Yeah, because that again is something that does need setup and combos. We'll see.
Yeah, and I think we may see another dis turn from Fontaine here, which we do. Going to control the weak.
The control the weak call is interesting.
I don't know. You'd maybe choose logos purely because you know that unlikely to have more logos in their hand, but I could also see, say, like a Saurian.
I think I'd probably go non-logos because they've got nothing on the board. That will most likely let you keep the Snudge and the Succubus alive.
Yeah. But I think my temptation would go for Saurian because it's the kind of thing you maybe don't want to get out as early because you might have stuff like Tribute in hand, you might have stuff like, as we see, Calipigeon Ideal in hand that you don't want to be getting out right now. So I think maybe go Saurian, but I don't know if that's because I can see what their hand is and that's influencing my choices.
But I think I wouldn't go logos here because it's not a bad logos turn either.
Very true.
Let's fight one of them off the board, draw a card.
Yeah, we are seeing some thought here, and Control Weak is played, and it is logos.
Fair enough.
I think it's a fine one as well. Just as I say, you know they're not going to play any more cards, and it also means that they're not going to draw any more cards because of that Succubus. I'm going to see the Ward put onto Hapsis. And fights the Snudge. It does allow the Wormhole Technician to come down. Come on down. But we see a very nice hand for Fontaine here with that Logos and the Scrambler Storm. Always nice to get out Just limit. You see the Postron Bolt knock the ward off of Hapsis.
The funny bit is you've got to be pretty happy if you're Jose here, just because that's not the worst control the week turn
No,
to happen.
and it's
You're
also
like,
not the
"That's
worst
okay."
Scrambler Storm to happen either.
No.
I mean, just play that Dis, get out your Keats Dis, you Lethal Eater of the Dead. Pretty chuffed. And ooh, really nice draws we're getting here for Fontaine. Just big hands.
I mean, yeah, but the problem is that you've not got anything to regrowth, really.
It's very true. It's very true.
It's a bit early.
Maybe you play the logos here then. Reap the Boxen, reap with the Replicator, onto the Boxen, draw another card, and just kind of stack up that hand. It's a possibility. But I could also see the Untamed just with so many. But no, he is going to go for the logos. I think I agree with that.
Draw 2 cards, get down in the Spectral Tunneler, put yourself on check.
Yep.
Ready to burst.
Jose. Another Untamed card. Oh boy.
It's going to be some another
Untamed.
Where's the full moon when you need one?
Yeah, exactly. No Hunting Witch is the thing though. If you had a Hunting Witch here, it'd be real nice.
Jose does in fact have the slightly different color Keyforge name of a former TCO tournament winner.
Ah, so he does. So yeah,
but is in a bit of a pickle here.
He is. I think.
Go Dis maybe.
Yeah, Dis it knocks him off a check with the Evil Eye is the thing that I'm thinking. But he goes Saurian instead. So he's going to let him have the key. Get that tribute down, maybe to kill Mother and Book to Calypso ideal. To exalt the Succubus and then kill it. Get the Ember back.
Yeah, fair. That's a good shout.
Get rid of the Succubus and I'd say maybe the Mother I'd probably get rid of. Just to stop him getting those big old hands.
Try and balance the card draw out.
Yep, and Frex's Ludo down. But not an amazing turn for Jose here. I think that Succubus has really done some work here in limiting what he can play, keeping his hand as congested as possible.
Yeah, and now that stuff's died, we have some good regrowth targets.
We do indeed.
So you can play 4 pips, co-op hunting, save the pack, a couple of things.
Yeah, probably Lost in the Woods, say the Ludo maybe, or the Lilithal.
I think you'd rather kill the Ludo.
I mean, yeah, if you had the option, yeah, but as with cooperative hunting, you can definitely kill the Ludo, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. I could see a case for playing these 2 Untamed creatures and then immediately Lost in the Woods, both of them.
The Mermook and the Mushroom Man. Yeah. You when you know that you're likely to be drawing background to the Hunting Witch eventually, you're going to be quite happy to have this back, especially if you're going to play those regrowths right now.
Yeah, and I think they'll do more on the board they'll do less on the board than Booked and Replicator.
Very true. Especially because you're unlikely to draw into another Untamed hand very soon after this, because you've got 2/3 of your Untamed sitting in your hand right now. We do see the key from Ronnie.
But here's the interesting Logos choice. What they're going to do is they're going to draw 3 cards, looking for that Hunting Witch and finding it.
Ah, very clever. And we use the Wild Wormhole in hand 2.
That was a gamble.
But this is an incredible play actually.
That has worked out incredibly well.
This is an incredible play as well because
to control the weak.
But you've also got that cooperative hunting and save the pack. So what you can do is you can play the Hunting Witch, play the Mermook and the Mushroom Man. You can cooperative hunting them both, save the pack, then regrowth them back.
And this has all come from the big Logos shenanigans quite early on. They drew 3 cards in that turn.
It's bold.
Control the weak into Logos. Considered that the house least likely to stop 6.
And I mean, I think that makes sense. We saw Logos sitting on the board for a long time early in the game, not doing much. Yeah.
Well, I feel pretty bad because we badmouthed the Untamed in this deck quite a lot, and we're about to see a huge turn.
In fairness, though, I think most houses, if you have 9 cards in hand of that house, you could do a lot with.
I mean, that is true. But we missed the amount of setup you could do with the Logos.
We did, definitely. I mean, no, I'm very prepared to accept that I have to eat my words and say that this could be an incredible turn.
We'll see if they spot the same thing you did, which is to
I
co-op hunting your own creatures.
I distinctly hope they do, just because it'll be cool as hell to
It's
see.
a cool play.
Yeah, we are going to see the mushroom man,
He wants to be a mushroom man.
and we are going to see cooperative hunting. So it's going to be the moment.
Moment of truth.
And Ludo. Oh, unfortunately, we aren't going to see it. That is. But I suppose maybe just wants to regrowth to get like logos cards like that mother back. Which
Yeah.
I can also understand as well. I mean, they still are going to go to check on this turn, so these are both. This is still an excellent turn, and yeah, getting that mother back and regrowth to get. I can't remember what else is in the discard right now.
Succubus,
Snudge, yeah. And yeah, Succubus, and I think Lost in the Woods, possibly the Hunting Witch and the Mushroom Man. I'd hit.
Yeah.
But we do see Ronnie on check for the third key already, and this is turn 6.
Turn 6.
And we are going to see, yeah, the Evil Eye come down.
Gonna hit the key to dis.
Indeed.
But Jose is... it's going to be very hard for them to come back here.
It really is, yeah. Especially you got the shoot. And Lesser Oxtet played. Persian out, the Perfected Ludo, the Legacy Raptor, and the Remote Access.
What the fuck do we know?
I mean, but to be fair though, on the board, some good stuff here from Jose. You've got the double E now. You've got the Spider and the Lesser Oxtet. Down to you can reap that Lesser Oxtet to get the key cost up. We are going to see the Shula coming down to steal one, the Dust Imp, the Succubus, and the Lash of Broken Dreams. Oof, though. That library access could set up some fierce plays from Ronnie, but let's see what Jose does first.
I mean, he's clinging on for dear life already.
To an extent, but what we've got to look at here, though, is that he's got, in all three houses, he's got good ways to increase the key cost sufficiently to stop the forging. We are going to see Logos, so we're probably going to see the E-Die coming down here.
And worth noting, Ronnie discards the Lash of Broken Dreams out of fear of the remote access.
I think very sensibly, yeah.
Doesn't want that being accessed remotely.
I can see remote access on the Dominator Bauble. Maybe to use the Spider to kill the Succubus here. And we are going to see remote access. Dominator Bauble, and using the Spider to kill that Succubus just to keep the cards flowing. Very sensible. And oh boy. Got a game on our hands here, lads.
Looking at these hands right now, it's just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Both of them have a stacked hand full of nonsense.
Indeed, they do. And I think we're going to see a big old Logos turn here from Ronnie, which we are going to see that library access coming down. And 2 Wild Wormholes. Oh, anything could happen.
Okay, what can you Wild Wormhole
Plays a Brain Eater. So... And draws the Hysteria, which you would have liked to have played that right here, but still.
Liked to have wormholed, yeah. Mother,
Ganymede Archivist, keep going. And there we are.
That's it, though.
That's it.
Pretty big turn, but only gets to 9.
Indeed, only gets to 9.
Only the current key cost, unfortunately.
Yes, it is. Okay.
So now we're going to see some Saurian shenanigans.
Now we are going to see some Saurian shenanigans.
The question is, does Jose set this up in a way that can avoid the Hysteria?
I think he 100% knows that the Hysteria is in hand.
He knows they have the Hysteria because they've not played it and they've gone through the whole deck.
Yeah, so I think what's going to happen here is we're going to set up a Tricerian Legionary with a... This isn't how I would have done it. So
you would have wanted to put it behind to taunt.
Yeah, so I would have played something like either the Haruspex or the Retta Gallon, probably the Haruspex first, tributed onto the Haruspex because it would have been the highest power. Then put the Tricerian Legionary next to it, warding the Haruspex, because at the moment the trouble is that you've got the discards here where you can knock off that ward and allow the Hysteria to come through. I
mean, I still don't think it works because you dominate a bauble.
No, because I suppose you could brain it. Yeah, you're right. No, you are correct.
You could have maybe warded the Haruspex that it was on and the Tricerian Legionary, but I think that's getting then into like two.
Yeah, I think it's.
There was maybe a way they could have done it, but I think this was not the way.
I'm just trying to think if there's any other ways you could have. No. What you do then is.
No, because
no,
you
'cause
can,
you
you can
need
fight
to-
you can you can fight the Legionary with like the Shula and the Dust Imp. You dominate a bauble, something else into the Haruspex to remove the ward, and then you can Hysteria.
The only thing, actually, the only way I think you could have done it to protect fully against the tribute, against the Hysteria rather, is it does unfortunately mean you have to put it on the Frexus Ludo, which feels weird. But with so many Ludos in the deck, it's an okay thing to do. Is you play the Legionary first, you put a ward on the Legionary, you play the Ludo, play the Tribute, then play the other Legionary next to it, ward the Ludo, so you've got two things protecting it with Taunt, and you protect against the Hysteria.
Yes, I think so, but I don't remote. Like we obviously have the benefit of looking at his hand and seeing Hysteria, and the benefit of hindsight.
I mean, no. I think Jose, a player of his quality, has seen that the deck's been drawn through, knows the Hysteria is coming up, and is playing accordingly. I can't believe he's not. But I think like that's the kind of thing where it just depends on what you're valuing and what you're valuing protecting here. Maybe he sees the competent Haruspex as more important, which I can kind of understand actually, whereby being able to use Reap effects.
I mean, it is also worth knowing that even if he gets that 5 Ember back, they're still only on 10 and the key cost of 12. So it's not over.
It's definitely not at all.
Ronnie is doing a big thing.
Which is understandable. There's a lot on the board here. There's a lot of options.
There's a lot currently happening.
Yeah.
And looking at that Hysteria, and we've got to be like, ooh.
You've got to assume that this is coming because you've got two Shulas and a Hysteria, so potential to steal just the two actually, because you would only have five in the pool.
you wanna put all these things back in the hand, all of these Saurians you want to go away. But presumably just thinking how to do it to the maximum possible value.
Yeah. And that Dominator Ball as well. Maybe fight with the Brain Eater to get a draw. Possibly, I'd say maybe kill that lesser Octet just to stop it reaping.
And this is what we talked about when we talked about Benedict at the beginning. There is 3 different houses on the board and 3 different cards that up the key cost by 3.
Yeah.
Currently, Edai can go much higher, but it's 3 currently.
Indeed, and Edai well protected here as well.
Yeah, that's probably going to be sticking on the board through the Hysteria.
Yeah.
So it seems like Ronnie is very much in the lead because they are 2 keys to nothing up and doing most of the driving.
Yes, and we do see the Dust Imp to fight a spider. Interestingly, I would have thought that'd be used to pop a ward on something, but apparently not. We are going to see Dominated Bauble. I've got to imagine Brain Eater into Doc Bocton.
Yeah, it's just drawing.
Just drawing.
Wants the draws. Reaping a draw as well.
Fair enough. I suppose because the Ludo, of course, you don't want to kill the Legionary with that Ember on. This is where I would have made a goof and have been very cross at myself.
Yeah, and this is why we're commentating the top 16 and not in it. Interesting effect that the Edai is now stays behind the taunt, actually.
It does, yeah.
So that puts Ronnie on 16 Ember.
It does, and I don't know if there's any way back from this. I'm looking and I can't see. There's not enough ways to archive with logos.
You can get 2 more in the archive with logos because you reap and compass Haruspex and you memory chip.
Yeah, but that's not. That's
15. And also, I think the 12 is only because he played a Rita Gallon last turn, so I think it's going to drop to 9.
Yeah, it is definitely. So you could get up to 12 by playing the Rita Gallon again. But
yeah, I think it's well short.
Curtains, as they say. And we are going to see the the E on the fringes. Oh, we completely forgot.
We forgot about the
E
God.
on
this
the
is
fringes.
Amateur hour in terms of Team Screech Bob. This is going to be massive.
And that's a steal of 10. It's still not enough, though. You can steal 10 by discarding 5 discards, but that's
Exhume something.
Is only 1 Retigallum as far as I can think. Am I right in thinking that?
I think you are right in thinking that.
Yeah, so I don't know what else there is in the discard that could, look, creature-wise.
Yeah, it's going to go to 6.
Yeah. Oh, no, so 8 with after this.
To 8.
Oh, no, 7. We were both wrong.
It's insane there's that much stealing and still can't bring it back. So I don't think he did have a way out there.
Unfortunately not. No, I'm not seeing. Yeah, he's going to discard the Exhume. And yeah, take him down to 7 with that. Not quite enough, but damn close though. That's 10 Ember stolen in one turn there.
Absolute bananas.
Ronnie takes it 3 keys to 0.
Yeah, and the KOTE be KOTE. It did its thing.
It really did, yeah. And it's the kind of thing we said, just returning creatures, disrupting, stopping Jose from being able to get out his board and do what he needed to do, and then getting that Hysteria exactly the right time.
Exactly the right time to put all that sorry stuff back in your hand, get that 5 Ember back really easily.
Yeah.
And the sort of had to play the Calipigian early because of sort of Snudge and the Succubus, and was just able to draw a lot of cards with logos to set up that colossal Untamed turn.
Yeah.
You've got to respect that. You've got to respect that gamble from Ronnie as well, because there was a lot of cards left in the deck.
Yeah, it really was, and like going for that logos turn, yeah, that took real moxie to do. I mean, I would have just played out that Untamed turn, been like, I've got 8 cards in hand, mate. Why wouldn't I do this? But no, he
annoyed. Yeah,
he was bold. He went for it. He looked at a Hunting Witch and found it and was rewarded.
Very much case of fortune favoring the bold.
Indeed, it did.
Do like it. All right, that brings that game to an end. That was ridiculous.
It's a great game, incredible ending. But yeah, thank you very much for watching that fantastic game from both players. I've been David, Baron von Fabulous Lark.
And I've been Callum, the Good Doctor Young.
Thank you very much for listening. We hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.